Hi friends, today we're going to look at some portable solar power on KK6USY ham radio adventures. Stay tuned. Okay, about a year ago I bought, about a year and a half ago, I bought a portable fold-up solar panel. It's 80 watts. It's made by the company called DOKIO. And I've been wanting to do a review on it. And the other day I went out and did some portable work. My battery's a little bit low. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this thing up, hook up a radio, hook up an antenna, see if we have noise on any of the bands. And just if you want to see this, that's it there. It just unfolds. You probably can't see it all. It's decent size. It's about 2 feet by 2 feet. So let's set this thing up. Let's see. Well, let me just tell you, it comes with a controller. I don't think it's an upgraded one. I think it's just a regular PWM. But hey, it does lithium batteries, so that's fine with me for now. I'm not relying on this for life safety or anything like that. It's just go out. And actually what I'm going to use this for a lot of times is my battery bank. I've got two Miyati 36 amp hours. So I have 72 amp hours total. And it's going to be for my refrigerator when I take it places like in my 4Runner in the backcountry and stuff like that. So let me set some stuff up. We'll check this thing out and see if it has any noise and see if it's any good for ham radio work. All right, before we get too far along here, I kind of jumped the gun saying I was going to set this up, but I want to show you what's in it. And this is the way it came. I only added one thing to what's here. So in the front here, we have a nice a little pocket. And in the pocket, we have a bunch of different accessories. Let me pull these things out for you. Now this is the controller. And like I said, it will do lithium batteries, and that was one of the reasons I bought this. So that's a good thing, especially for ham radio guys that are getting into, I mean, lithium's the way of the future anyhow, for batteries. All right, so in this thing it says, I don't know if you guys can read it. I can only get so close here, and I can bring it in later. But it says, solar charge controller spec, 12 volts, 12 amps, plus USB. Now on the side here, it has USB. And let's see what it says, 5 volts, max 2 amps. So you can, once you're hooked to your solar panel, you can hook like your phone charger or whatever right into that. So that's kind of nice for when you're out. You don't have to use your battery power up. Now, it uses XT60. Now, XT60s are widely used in the RC world, you know, radio controlled cars and planes and all that stuff. And I don't know why the ham world has not adopted these along with power poles or instead of, because these are XT60. The 60 standing for, I believe, is 60 amps. And if you can see in there, I don't know if you can see in there or not, but you have way more contact area than you do on any power pole. The power poles just have the little quick, well, maybe not much more, but it does. And these things are well, Prouse, do-it-yourself solar. He recommends these things. So, I mean, that guy knows his stuff. It also came with this, and I don't have them in the bag, but this is an easy way to hook it to your battery. They use SAE connectors, and that's an SAE connector. And that's what they use to hook the solar panel to hook up to the solar panel end. And I'll show you that in a minute. Now, it came with a little card from DOKIO. That's how you spell it, DOKIO. And I will, and by the way, disclaimer here, I paid for this with my own money. DOKIO did not send this to me, so whatever we find out today is what I think and what we find out. All right, and you got your instructions, all that stuff. Shows you how to use it. Might read that later. Now, it comes with, this goes into your solar panel. One of these. I got this one for solar panel, and that's the solar panel. So that will plug into there like that. This one goes to your battery. I have these marked so I know which is which. This one will go to your battery, and they both have SAE connectors on the end. Okay. Now for your battery hookup, It comes with this. So you hook this to your battery, and then you just hook your lines into those connectors there. So that would go to basically just like that, just like any other connector. These are pretty good connectors too. And then it comes with one that just has the bare wires, and you can hook up whatever you want. Say if I wanted to hook up power poles to this, I could do that. Now the only other thing that I did buy extra for this, I think I left it in here, is an extension. I believe this is 10 or 15 feet, I forget exactly, but heavy gauge wire, probably 14 gauge. But I bought that because I had this hooked to my trailer for my refrigerator when I was inside, and that way I can run it inside to my trailer and not have to leave everything outside. I have a box trailer, and that works great for keeping my stuff in there. And the nice thing about that, it keeps everything in the shade. Let me open this thing up. A little closer look for you guys. So basically, it has Velcro to hold it together here and here. And then it's if I remember right, this is a monocrystalline, which is usually the more efficient ones. Okay, and there's your connector. If you guys can, there's the connector. It's wired into here. It has hooks, so you can strap it to something. Actually, the one of the best places, if your windshield happens to be, angled towards the sun, or you can move it from time to time, that's a pretty good angle usually for most of the time. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I will set this up. I'll hook it to my battery that I used the other day. We'll see what kind of a charge. Since my battery, I used it for FM, so at 50 watts, and I used it for sideband for quite a while, for like 2 to 3 hours. And that is a 30 amp hour battery in my battery box. So I'll get my battery box. We'll hook these wires up to it, and then we'll hook everything up, and we'll unplug. We'll listen to the band, and then we'll plug it in, let it set for a second, and see if we pick up any noise. This is battery voltage. Nothing hooked up other than the radio is hooked, so it's pulling power right now. And it shows 13.0 on my battery box and 12.9 here, and it shows that we're down a bar. If you look at the little control, the battery here, it shows it's down a bar. And that is main display, shows battery voltage, battery capacity, and charging, discharging status. And then we click this once. Now that's amps, so there's no amps right now because we're not hooked up. And that's showing amperage going out to say your phone or something like that. I think that's what that is. Discharging, it's a discharge amping. So it goes back to the beginning. I believe 13.7. That's where to bring it to. Okay, that's where it's going to set the battery to. You can also move that up and down with the up and down markers, which is plus and minus here. We're just going to leave it there, and then let me get back to that. And now it's set to that's a low voltage reconnect display. So when your battery gets down to there, it'll reconnect up. All right. That says low voltage reconnect display. When a low voltage disconnect happens, the controller will wait until the voltage rises more than the voltage. The voltage raises more than the voltage, I guess is a misspell, and then it will reconnect and load again. This setting is the same as above. And this one here is this is low voltage disconnect display. This is working load. 24H means controller will continuously supply power to your load, dusk to dawn. This is a battery setting. For what we're doing, this is going to be fine. And then the next is trigger value for solar panel, trigger delay, short circuit. Now this is the battery voltage. We're at 12.9. We're hooked to the battery. Now let's just hook this to the solar panel and see what happens. It immediately jumps up. So now it's showing charging the battery. I'm showing roughly 13.1 at my battery and 13.3 going into it. So that will slowly bring it up, and now it just went to, it's flashing at 13.2. So it's charging, and it looks like with the power coming out, it will charge the battery right now. Right now we are charging, and if you can look at the band, make sure I'm not in your way. There's really, I don't see any noise on the band at all. Okay, I'll unhook it now. You can see it make a noise when we unhook. I don't know if you saw that. It does the same. So there's really nothing there other than signals. Okay. So when I hook it up, you'll see a little spike on the S meter, which is right here. So watch this. Oops. Okay. So no noise that I'm detecting. If there is, it's very little. So let's just try. Let's go down. Let's just pick a different band. We'll start at the bottom. Okay, we're getting a noise there. All right, let's just see if that's the solar controller. Okay, I now hooked it. We hook it back up. So it does look like on this band there is making a noise. So that's not good, but I'm never on this band. Let's go to a different band. Same thing on 80, it looks like. Okay, unhooked. No real noise. Now hooked back up. Look at that. This is not good. All right, let's try a different band. We already did 40, so let's go here. Disconnected, that's the when it went up there. Okay, it's hooked up right now. I'll unhook it. Saw a little bit of movement in the SWR meter. Now hook it back up. Okay. Let's let it set for a minute. I'm not seeing anything there. All right, let's change bands. Go to 20. Okay, I'm going to connect it. Oh, I didn't even get a noise of connecting. I see nothing on 20. Let's try the next band. We're hooked up right now. There's disconnected. Nothing on the band. I just connected it. So it is connected now. So far, 40 and higher, it seems to be okay. There's disconnected, which I expected to make a noise there. So let's go to here. Okay, I'm going to connect it. That's connected now. Looks like, oh, look at this. Oh, it's just noise. All right, let's see. Good, no noise there. I'll disconnect. There's your noise. Okay, disconnected right now. There we go. Now we're in. Now we're hooked up. Nothing again. Good. We're still connected. Let me disconnect. There's your noise. There's your noise back. Now we're connected right now. Nothing seen. Okay, good. Okay, now we're hooked to the right connection. Disconnect, it makes a little noise. Connect it back up. Makes a little noise. Oh, look. Well, I am hearing a clicking noise every once in a while. So it doesn't really look like, it looks like when it first kicks on, it makes a noise and then quits, so that's good. I am getting a clicking noise. Oops. Okay, disconnected. Connect it back up. And this antenna is not for these bands, but it should pick up something if there was noise there. So it does nothing on 440. If you remember right, we were, with nothing hooked up to the battery with the radio on, was set at, I think it was 12.9 volts. Hopefully you guys can see this. But we're at 13.5 right now. And that's just with a few minutes. Now, the battery, let's see what the battery says. It says 13.3. So we got 13.5 going into it. And if I disconnect, battery showing 13.1, 13.2. Okay, let's turn the radio off. 13.2, so it was borderline. And now we'll plug it back into the solar panel. Okay, so it's 13.5. And if you notice the bar, the first bar that was missing earlier is back. Okay, so it has charged the battery up. It was, I think this 80 watt solar panel will keep up with, well, I'll have to try it out one day on real, actually go out and make some 100 watt contacts and see how it does. But the battery is at 13.4 now, it shows. Let me go get a phone charger. We'll plug it in and we'll go through the modes. This cord is hooked up. It's not hooked to anything yet. I've already hooked it in. I do know, oops, sorry. And I do know it will charge the phone. Let's find the USB port on this thing. I'll try to do this without moving anything. So that's 3.7 amps coming in right now. Okay, there's your 0 amps. Let me plug this in. Hopefully I can do it before it switches out. And 0.4 amps. There we go. Unplugged. 0. Back in. 0.4. Okay, the only thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to let this thing charge for a while. I'm going to turn the camera off, save the battery, and I'll show you what it will bring this thing up to. Hopefully it'll charge it all the way up and quit charging. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours, maybe just a little bit more since the last time I was out here. The voltage is setting at 13.8. Let's see what my battery pack says. It says 13.6. The battery, so it's 13.6 on the battery. I disconnected it, it drops to 13.4. So it's still charging. I'll plug it back in. And it's back to 13.6. 13.8 amps. Now, I showed you, this shows this is where it should be set for this battery, this lithium battery. Now, before I didn't know how to set it, but what you do is you long hold this, and it moves. So then we can go down to 2, which is a different type of lithium, and lead acid. And then back to where we were, and then you hold it down, and that sets it. That's how you set the different parameters on here. This one has been discontinued, I think, or they are out of them one, and I will make sure there's a link to this or maybe a 100 watt version also. They look pretty much the same. Now this controller, I know that you can get the cheap Chinese controllers, which is probably what this is, but I have to say the quality of it feels pretty good. It's not super cheap feeling, it's not metal or anything like that, it's all plastic. And I mean, because it came with it, it's a pretty decent deal. But I'll put a link in the description down below. And I am an Amazon affiliate. It doesn't cost you anymore if you do buy it. If you decide you want to buy one of these, I get a little bit of commission back on it. It's not a whole lot, but better than nothing, and it helps the channel. Okay, I was just getting ready to be done here, and I just happened to look at this, and I must be getting a really good direction on the sun right now. So we're up to 14.6. 14.7. You know what? My battery may have kicked off. Let me disconnect the battery and see if it's, maybe that's what the voltage is so high for now. That's what it was. All right. I hope this was helpful for most of you there. I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. I just know that I want to have some solar power out there, and I think this is going to do what I need it to do. So hopefully you got something out of it. I will do some more tests on this. I'll actually take it out one of these trips, and I'll try to run my battery down first, and then see if it can catch up and actually improve the battery. I'll try to run my battery down maybe halfway and get out and do some contacts. So if you did get something out of this, hit that like button. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the all button to get all future videos that I put out. I think you guys will like them. This is Chuck, KK6USY for Ham Radio Adventures. 73 is all. Be safe and catch you on the airways.